Hello, friends. Greetings and welcome to the Monday Nerdrotic Nooner. It is the 9th of December, and we are 4 days away from The Expanse, and unfortunately 10 days away from the fall of Skywalker. And we will talk about that. The mainstream media is picking up on this stuff. Of course, we're also going to talk about the Ghostbusters trailer that just came out. So, as I get rid of this and this, hi. I'm even wearing my horrific Halloween glow-in-the-dark shirt that I used to wear when I talked about anything horror, which I don't that much, but what the hell. So, first, let's welcome people in, and I have to move my mic. We have Demonic Bioman, Tatsu Nami, Tippy Tail Bakitty, Josh and Rebecca Moname. Welcome. It's good to see you. Ashtikian, Matthew Matson and his wrench. What's up, Matt? Nicholas Horton, Joe Lau, Inferno PS, Nina Infinity, Alvirian Imakara. Sorry if I screwed that up. Bear Nerd Fun. Dakin Lover and Sikonig, Sporking News podcast from the Fourth Wave. Go check it out with author Stephen Walton and Bear Nerd Fun. Daniel Krantz, fatty. You're not a fatty. You're just big boned. Hollywood God, I would like Hollywood God. We need to talk. Hollywood God. If I have to sacrifice a few things at the altar of the Hollywood God to get things unwoke, that would be nice. Matt Adams, IT Ninja, Mike Jackson, and some rando asshat on the internet. I like that. All right, I still feel like crap. This is not getting better. I have like 3 videos I have to make, so that's why I decided to do this in the morning. And you actually got a nooner. Well, it's noon on the West Coast, exactly in 1 minute. So will you be my nooner? Let's talk about the year of 1984. The year of 1984 was a great year. I was 14, and Ghostbusters had come out in June of this year. We also had Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And I remember I was such a hardcore fan of anything Lucas and Spielberg that I initially was pissed at Ghostbusters because it was making more money than my Indiana Jones. Also, I got an Indiana Jones film that I wasn't entirely happy with at the time. I gotta say, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, I love it now, but at the time, I didn't like it. I didn't like the scene I hated the most was when they escaped out of the plane in a raft. I thought that was stupid, but I was 14. What did I know? But I grew to love Ghostbusters. The theme was practically the soundtrack of the summer of '84. There was other songs playing, but that one was playing constantly. Of course, we know Ray Parker Jr. lifted that a little bit from Huey Lewis, so much so that Huey Lewis got some money from it. From I Want a New Drug. I mean, it's the same damn beat. Still, 1984 was a great year. So I had gone in 1983. I was in junior high. I was in 7th grade, and that was the last year of my prepubescent awkward phase. Everything sucked. School sucked. My life sucked. I was completely depressed. I was a total nerd. Girls wouldn't look at me. I had a bunch of nerd friends that looked a lot like Stranger Things. Nobody liked us. And that year, all of us kind of sprouted over the summer, and we went through our growth spurts, and the next year was completely different. So that summer, Ghostbusters came out, and I ended up loving it. Indiana Jones came out. The music was great. MTV was brilliant. I went to Yosemite, as my family always did during the summer, and here, I can show you. Let me show you a picture of me when I was 14. When I was 14. Let's see if there we go. There's 14-year-old me You see that smile on my face? Well, that was the day after I lost my virginity. So 1984 was a fantastic year. And this was July 5th, I believe. July 5th or 6th of 1984. And I was just happy as can be. You can't see it. I'm holding a cooler full of wine coolers, and we went down to I think it's what is it, Merced Lake, the little creek that runs through the middle of Yosemite. We went rafting, got freaking loaded. But yes, I was a happy lad back then, and the reason I bring this up is I lost my virginity to the theme of Ghostbusters. It was playing on the radio during that, I guess, 60 seconds of pure joy. And that's why Ghostbusters holds a very special place in my heart. I love the film. I love the song. I love everything about it now. So we get to the trailer, which I can't show, unfortunately. I can't show it. I know, I was so young and pretty. What happened? Well, this is what happens when you do lots of drugs, because I started doing that like not long after, about a year after that. That's when I started partying. Those were the last days of innocent me. So I watched the Ghostbusters trailer this morning. I just watched it again before this started for the 5th time. I don't know what anybody else is saying about it but I liked it. I thought, you have to, I'm looking at the lens of 2016 Ghostbusters, and I love Ghostbusters so much that I've never watched that movie all the way through. I remember, oh God, it was over a year ago. Doomcock hadn't seen it, and he asked his patrons to see it so he can do a reaction on Patreon before he did his video. I said, okay, I'll go see it. And I sat down, and for one, I own Vudu, and Vudu gave me Ghostbusters 2016 for free and Captain Marvel for free, which I haven't watched Captain Marvel again, and I watched 15 minutes of Ghostbusters 2016, and I couldn't get through it. I didn't want it to besmirch my feelings of Ghostbusters. I like Ghostbusters 2. I think the ending's kind of lame, but I like it. And I don't think it takes away from the first film. Ghostbusters 2016 was just terrible, and it wasn't funny. I don't like Paul Feig. I don't like Melissa McCarthy that much. I saw her spy movie. I didn't like that. So I wasn't into that comedy, and Ghostbusters 2016 is it didn't start what's going on in Hollywood, but it was the flashpoint, okay? It was the shot heard round the world. What we're seeing now in this trailer that I enjoyed was the turn of the tide. And I will call it progress, not perfection. We're never going to get perfection. Hollywood is going to remain Hollywood. And there's a point where I'll speak for myself, where I'm going to have to either walk away from this crap or enjoy some of it and be okay with less woke moments. I will be for some things. I won't be for others. But I watched this trailer, and it certainly, the message I got was, we're going to lay off the identity politics, but we're still going to center everything around a girl who might be the key to everything. But if it's Egon's granddaughter, I'm kind of okay with that. Paul Rudd helps a lot. If Paul Rudd's not in this, I don't care. And I liked his little parts in the trailer. And I liked the fact that it was a teaser that showed us next to nothing, aside from Ecto 1 and a little shot of Slimer. And yes, Slimer's in it, and I think that's great. As you know, Slimer is the ghost of John Belushi, one of my favorite all-time comedians. We lost him way too soon. I remember when he died. I remember being extremely bummed. I was 12 at the time. He was supposed to be in Ghostbusters, and apparently so was Eddie Murphy, which that would have been great. But Ernie Hudson did a great job, and I actually can't imagine anybody else in that role now. So I'm sure some of the criticisms are we didn't get to see any of the original Ghostbusters. It's in a small town. It's looking a lot like Stranger Things because, well, quite frankly, it is. And it's got a Stranger Things actor. None of that bothers me. None of that bothers me at all. What it does is it deals with the Ghostbusters with reverence, which I mean, that was put in the trailer purposely. So I have a former employee who cuts trailers. He might be watching right now. Chris, what's up, buddy? I gave him his first job, but now he is in Hollywood and he is cutting trailers, and he's given me a lot of information on how they go about these trailers, particularly with teasers. Teasers are supposed to send a message, a message of what the film is about, and I fully believe that this trailer was to send a message: we're sorry, we're going to make things right, we got to modernize things, but we're going to try to do it with as much reverence as possible. Dan Aykroyd is involved. I remain hopeful. Could the movie still suck? Absolutely. Would I have loved? I would have loved to have seen the original cast, but I'm glad they kept it out. I hate trailers that give away too much. I am a fan of give me one teaser, give me one trailer. That's it. And you know what? This isn't a good sign for Rise of Skywalker to shift the conversation to that. Considering what little we've seen in the trailer, I think absolutely proves there's been a bunch of reshoots and there's been a bunch of chaos. If you look at other trailers from Disney Star Wars, things were a lot different. So we'll have to see. We're going to have to wait till the next trailer. This was just a teaser, and I thought it was very well done. I liked it. I was intrigued. I was excited. It didn't show me too much. It's not like I laughed at anything, and I don't need to. This Ghostbusters isn't a comedy to me. It is a lot like what the Orville's turning into. It's supposed to be an adventure. It's an adventure film. It's an 80s adventure film. And 80s adventure films, when done right, like Indiana Jones had a ton of humor. Star Trek, the 1980s Star Trek films had tons of humor, but not too much. Star Wars had heart and humor. That's what made it so much different from so much other science fiction. People laughed. I remember being in the theater for Star Wars when R2-D2 and C-3PO run across the corridor when the rebels and the stormtroopers are shooting each other and all the lasers all the laser beams missed them. People were laughing their asses off at that in the 1970s. I mean, that's probably something people wouldn't even laugh at now. So Ghostbusters is of its time, and I don't know if you can modernize it. Trying to take Ghostbusters and emulate another property out there like Stranger Things, I could see how that's a worry to somebody, and that's legit, and it could suck. Jason Reitman seems like the right person for the job, though. His dad's there, Dan Aykroyd's there, and unfortunately, we don't have Harold Ramis. I'm sorry we lost him. And F you, Bill Murray, by the way. F you, Bill Murray. I wanted to see him in this movie, but everything I learned from Bill Murray, I don't like the guy. He's the reason we didn't get a Ghostbusters 3. And it looks like they're going to wipe out the canon from the game, which sucks. Because I am not a gamer. I've played very few games in my life. That was one game I played and enjoyed a lot. So, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what you guys got to say. I liked it. Let me get back. Where was I? Oh, and we got a couple of articles to talk about as well. For sure. And according to Christy and Mark Lurzeth, thank you for showing up. I'm a little scared it'll be too kiddie, and looks like they might ignore Ghostbusters 2. Okay, the Lads Lounge, I hope they don't, and that is a decent concern. I think they need to acknowledge Ghostbusters 1 and 2. If they wipe out the game, which I always thought was canon, if it's good, I'm fine with it. If it's not, then I won't be. How's that sound? You're kidding me, right? Oh, no, you're not. Jedi Knight and Friend of Alita said, of course, Campia didn't like it. Well, Campia and I agree on next to nothing. Absolutely next to nothing. And that's fine. Campia doesn't even know who I am. Oh, did you guys hear that Jeremy passed Campia up in subscribers? I don't know if anybody heard that, but the guy in his pool house who hasn't taken his hat off in 10 years and wears torn jeans, beat Campia in subscribers. I just want to bring that up. Hail Jeremy. And Doomcock will beat him in the next month or so. And who knows? Maybe I'll even catch him at some point. We'll see. I just hit 180,000 subscribers. So thank you, everyone. And by the way, if you are out there and you're watching this, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the videos. That helps us stay competitive against the giant corporations that YouTube is prioritizing, like the Wall Street Journal, like Entertainment Tonight, like Disney, which owns practically everything or is in partnership with everything. Remember, I did a video on this. 2 of the articles that attack the Fandom Menace from Digital Spy and Esquire does it quite a bit through Matt Miller, are in partnership with Disney in a couple of ventures. So there's that. And the Wall Street Journal is owned by Rupert Murdoch, who is now, I believe, a board member and a major stockholder in Disney. But there's nothing to see here. And Campia gets to go see things early. He is the access in the access media. Not my Vigo. I don't know. Hashtag not my Vigo. Viggo Mortensen? I don't know. Hashtag Solo lost money. Let's get to Mark C. The Ghostbusters trailer wasn't what I expected, but still very cool. Hashtag Solo lost money. Thank you, Mark C, for the $5. Yeah, it's not the greatest trailer in the world, but like I said, it's progress, not perfection. I want you to compare that to Ghostbusters 2016. Yes, it's the same company, but this is also the same company going, okay, we might have overreached there. Alienating half of our audience was not what we intended to do. You've seen Dan Aykroyd out there in the media, like, talking shit about Paul Feig. They're not happy with the guy. There is a large contingent in Hollywood who does not agree with what's going on. They actually reach out to us here in the Fandom Menace, big and small, I will say up and coming, and somewhat established, all the time. But they can't say anything. Jeremy's talked about this. I'm sure Doomcock's talked about this. I talked to somebody at Star Trek Las Vegas who said that very thing to me. We talked to somebody at New York Comic Con who said that very thing to me. Not everybody is on board with this stuff. There's a lot of pressure, peer pressure, bullying. I don't like that word. Bullying. I don't know. I don't know how adults can bully other adults. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just an old fart in that one. But am I the keymaster? Yes, I am the keymaster. Vince Clorthal. John Campia, what does the inside of Bob Iger's ass look like? I'm thinking drafty, says Alpha Prime. But I love Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert Meyer Burnett is the good part of that. All right. We don't agree on everything, but he remains classy and open-minded. And that's all we really ask for. Speaking of 1984, Wonder Woman. Wow. James Chaney for $2. That's a good point. That was a good trailer too. I'm interested to see how it turns out. But yeah, I thought the Wonder Woman trailer was good. Ghostbusters trailer was good. The James Bond trailer was bland, but that's because I think my opinion has been poisoned with all the Me Too, Time's Up politics. And I've got a video to show you in a little bit that'll change your opinion on Bond. You've probably seen it. I'm probably the last one to see it. But we'll watch it together. But no, Wonder Woman, I love Gal Gadot. She is the best Wonder Woman since Linda Carter. Now, sorry, Linda Carter is still the best Wonder Woman of all time, and that will never change, ever. But Gal Gadot is classy. She's a classy actress. She doesn't go out there and try to divide people. She goes out there and just talks about her movie, and I like her. I like her a lot. And she happens to be very beautiful, but that's not supposed to matter. I bet you she's smarter than that. I bet you she's as smart as she is beautiful. How's that sound? Mark C. Lost your virginity. Bustin' made Gary feel good. Damn straight. For $2. That's why it's in my top favorite songs of all time. The freaking Ghostbusters theme. It's all about where it takes you, you know? It was a good time. That was a good time. Very short, brief, good time. Captain Spire for $2. See the spores, molds, and fungus in the basement? Yes, of course. It's Egon's granddaughter. I think that's a very cool way to do it. Egon dies. He was the smartest one there. He's the one overseeing the ghost. They're near the original cult. That was the original worshiper of Gozer. So it makes sense that it's in a small town. And I think this is a good way if you want to start another franchise. And you know what? Don't kill off the original Ghostbusters. This is the Cobra Kai model being enacted right now and before our eyes. And that's what we were asking for. We're not like, don't do Force Awakens, do Cobra Kai. This is what they're doing. They're doing the Cobra Kai model. You bring in your original characters, you treat them with respect, you don't besmirch them to make your newer characters sound better, or because that's just lazy writing. Why don't you just make your new characters as interesting as the old ones, or try? I mean, you can't even equal Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. You can't. But you bring in a Paul Rudd, that's a smart move. Is it going to be like a family thing now, kind of like the Fantastic Four? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. I would feel better if they brought in like a third adult, or maybe one of the older Ghostbusters is with them. And if the kids want to embark on some of the adventures, kind of in the sense that Franklin Richards does, sure, I don't have a problem with that. I like family stuff. Here's my one major problem with the trailer, though. And I would have called it perfect as a teaser. It's a teaser. It's just supposed to tease us. It's not supposed to show us everything. The comment about the father. 2 or 3 points off the trailer just for that. So, hasn't your dad told you? It's just my mom. It's like, and I saw the promotional pictures. I knew they were going to do this. And I guess Paul Rudd's going to be the father figure, and I guess that's okay. But why can't you just start with a family that's together and happy? Is this hard for Hollywood? I guess it is. I'm guessing it is. Why couldn't Paul Rudd just be the dad? You know? And we're going through the wreckage of Grandpa's life. So there's still some of that, and that's where the progress, not perfection, comes in. So that's the biggest problem I have with the trailer. The war on fathers continues. Thank you, Captain Spire and Mark C. James Cheney, thank you again for the $2 and bringing up Wonder Woman. I think that was good of you to do. Ryan for £2. So I'm confused. Are the originals in it? Yes, they are. They are confirmed to be in it, except for not Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis, who has retired from acting, which is a damn shame. Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters always reminded me a little bit of a smaller, dorkier version of my dad, because my dad was a CPA. And he was always having clients over and doing stuff. He wasn't the Bachelor, but my dad looked like Roy Orbison, but he looked a little bit like Rick Moranis, but like a 6'3" version of Rick Moranis. But they are in it, and I'm actually glad they left them out of this one. We know they're coming, but I hope they're not in it for like a few minutes. If that's the case, then I'm not going to be happy. Professor Thaskalos for $5. Ghostbusters 2016 and all the new Star Wars movies have one thing in common. They're all visual abortions. Absolutely. Too much freaking CG, and the CG's not good. I hope they don't do too much in Ghostbusters either. I want some practical effects mixed in. I guess I can't credit Jar Jar for anything. I can't. But I do like a good mix of practical effects. One of my all-time favorite movies is Big Trouble in Little China. I think that is some of the best use of practical effects I've ever seen, the most entertaining use. And they're not perfect, but they are, in a way. They're artistic. It's great. So if you haven't seen that, if you're a young buck out there, which I have very few in my audience, pick up Big Trouble in Little China. If you want to experience some 80s nostalgia, that's a perfect 80s film. Nettled Nerds for $2. I wish Soy Wars would take a page from the Ghostbusters book. I think they might, but it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. And listen, they had Apple time to change. I hear the excuse that it takes a couple of years to change things, and they certainly did, and Sony has done that. But the Fandom Menace has actually been around for a while now, long before I got in here. And, I would say the minute Last Jedi came out, it had its origins before that in other groups. It kind of spurted out, I guess. That's a good as term as any. From other groups, I would say Comicsgate led to the Fandom Menace in a way. It did. It turned into something very different, but it definitely had its roots in that. But it's been around for a long time, and they could have changed. But they wanted to spend a year calling us ists and phobes and writing articles about us and weaponizing the access media. And Christ, they're still doing it. But the access media is even starting to change their rhetoric. I mean, not enough, but I've read hundreds of articles on this subject now, and they're starting to leave out the harsher rhetoric because they finally listened to some of us who were saying, when you call out misogynist or racist and you point out the anonymous guy on Twitter with 9 followers, and listen, I'm not trying to big time you there. I'm just making this an example. An anonymous person on Twitter with 9 followers is not a threat to anyone. It's a fart in the wind. It's something that should be ignored, especially when they're threatening people. If somebody has their face and their name on their Twitter account and and it doesn't even have to be following, if they have put their face on it, that's a real threat that you have to take seriously. But they manipulate it, and they've used it to attack fans, and they were putting words in our mouth that we were never saying. They were making false assumptions about what our intent was, things we were never doing, things that we've never had a problem with. And the analogy is a person of color makes me a bad peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't like the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I say, this is a bad peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the person of color calls me a racist. Or worse yet, the white dudes in the access media call me a racist for criticizing the person of color's peanut butter and jelly sandwich because they put in the wrong jelly. I don't like grape jelly. I like strawberry jelly. But that's it. Although I can eat grape jelly once in a while though. If I'm in a pinch. But that's what's the argument. So they keep moving the goalposts, and it's getting, it got old before. It's getting really old. And I know sometimes things get repetitive, especially when the mainstream media chimes in. And I just did a video on this and just rehashes these old arguments. And they tried to be coy about it, especially when they brought up Rose Tico and Kelly Marie Trans. They tried to show the other side of the argument after calling everybody racist and sexist. That's still bringing it up. That's still perpetuating a lie. Just because at the end you go, well, this might not be true. The thing has been totally debunked, just like the Russian bot thing. And for Christ's sake, I had just given them credit in my previous video going, at least they didn't bring that up. And then the mainstream media the next fracking day brings it up. Cracklin, I'll get to you in a second, Cracklin, and welcome, my friend. RR199. It's about passing the torch, not blowing it out. Ooh, I like that. I don't know if that's your saying, but I like that a lot. Here, I'm going to screen cap that. That's going to go in one of my videos. There we go. Very well said. Casey Osowski for $5. As long as it is not as much of a cluster as 2016, I will give it a shot. Yep. And that's lowered expectations too. My expectations will rise after the next trailer. If we get another trailer and it's just a focus on this and we don't get Dan Aykroyd at least, I don't know. I'm not expecting Bill Murray to be in this movie a lot, and that sucks. And I will be very mad at him. He's been a cantankerous a-hole, and he didn't need to be. It's these guys forget, like, who pays them. Dan Aykroyd, not Dan Aykroyd, I'm sorry, Bill Murray. This is why the movie star is dying out. And maybe that's part of what's making him so angry, and some of the other older actors so angry, is the powerful movie star is gone. Those days are over. It's now about the story, and that's kind of a good thing, I think. Once if Hollywood can get its head out of its ass, which I don't think it can, but I'll say the era of the movie star is long, long gone. I enjoyed it while it lasted, but you had Bill Murrays out there who thought that they were the reason for everything. They were the end all. Well, it turns out they're not. Turns out you were an adult who was just pretending for a living. And for a long time, you got paid a lot of money. And you earned it, and good on you. But those days might be over. Sorry. And maybe you should have treated people a little nicer on the way up. Just saying. Irony that Bill Murray was in Scrooged. There you go. One of my favorite Christmas movies. I'm going to watch it in the next couple of days. So we'll get to the chat here. What's up, Tammy R? GB Ghostbusters gotta give me who's the star of this. Give me who's the star of this movie. I think it's Paul Rudd, but they're actually giving women top billing now. So if you go to IMDb, it's the actress is considered the star of the movie, but it's Paul Rudd. Come on, let's be real. But that's a good question, Tammy. That's a good question. IT Ninja for $5. Sorry, no, I got to go back up to Cracklin. $4.99. I heard that Bill Murray didn't do another Ghostbusters movie because his ex-wife would be entitled to some of the money. Sad if true. Give your ex-wife some of the money, dude. It's been decades. Let it go. Bruh. I gave my ex-wife $67,000. I'm over it. Such is life. We didn't do anything wrong. I mean, like, we just, broke up like normal people do. We just lost interest and broke up. Wasn't anything dramatic or anything. We didn't even get like real lawyers. It just cost a lot of money. But I'm over it. I'm happy. I'm sure she is too. I hope she is. But dude, you would still make money. You would still make tons of money. And I mean, forget the fans. Making the fans happy is it's not even a priority in his life. Screw the fans. Oh my God. If the only thing the only good thing the Fandom Menace does is it makes Hollywood recognize the fan again, then our work was well done. I don't think we're going to save any franchises. I think we might turn some around. I think we have some minor influence some other places, but if it makes producers and actors a little more aware of respecting the fan, then we did our job. Lonnie Holcomb, Big Trouble in Little China. Hell yeah, for $2. Hell yeah. Great film. John Carpenter. Have you paid your dues, Jack? The check is in the mail. Chris Sullivan for £2. I must be old. I just can't take these reboots. There are too many of them, Chris. I think the symbolism, though, behind Ghostbusters is probably what's pumping me up a little bit. I'll be honest about it. The symbolism of we are sorry about Ghostbusters 2016 and the fact that it triggered the right people gave me a little joy today. I'm a little schadenfreude. We'll get to that in just a second. There's a Bounding into Comics article on that I thought that was very good. And I saw Jeremy tweeted a couple of blue check marks that are squealing about it. And that did my heart good. It did. IT Ninja, have you seen the Sci-Fi on YouTube Dust channel? Good stuff. Not my channel. Keep up the good work. I'll check it out, IT Ninja. And thank you for the $5. I will check it out. But no, that's a good point, Chris. There's too many damn reboots. I agree with you there. We need more original stuff. I got to move my screen over. My camera's in the way. I put my camera in a new position so I'm not like at the bottom. I was like at the bottom before. I got a new tripod. I spent, some of the Nerdrotic money. I think I spent $17. $17. I can write that off, Philip Lisbats, is that how you say it? For £10. Don't ever remake Big Trouble in Little China. That's a warning. I'm backing that warning with violence. Violence. They were talking about The Rock remaking it, and that got shit canned, and I'm very happy. Hopefully it won't get remade because it wasn't a big hit in theaters. It's a cult classic. I want it to be left alone, just like I want Time Bandits to be left alone. Now, I heard that there might be a Time Bandit series on Apple TV. I hope that doesn't happen either. I love Time Bandits. I love Big Trouble in Little China. Those are my 80s movies. Excalibur. Those are 3 movies I can watch at any point in time. I could turn this live stream off right now and go watch it. I'd be happy. I need a Nerdrotic t-shirt and hat. Where? Hail, Bear Nerd Friend. Yeah. Hang on a second. I've been pretty crappy about that. I am woefully behind on everything. I'm finally going to have badges and emojis on my member level very soon. I reached out to Josiah. I know he's busy, and he offered to help. So thank you, Josiah. Please go check out Josiah Rise's channel. Please subscribe, and I will give you cheddar. So if we go to Mixed Tees, Nerdrotic, I'm going to give you the link right now. This is for shirts. Hats are on the way. Mrs. Nerdrotic is working on that, actually. Here is what the hats look like. I've got one left. These are the hats. They're pretty cool. But this was the New York Comic-Con exclusive. So we're probably going to have like a black one, and we're going to do one with just the glasses or Nerdrotic. But if we go to Mixed Tees Nerdrotic right here, I am putting it in the chat. So here you go. Thank you for asking. There we go. Okay, Bear Nerd Fun. It was great having you on. We'll have you on again. And speaking of somebody we've had on before, the author Stephen Walton for $2. Disney is fandom engineering. Kill the past. Yes, they are through the Disney trilogy. But I did see a little bit of that in The Mandalorian, and I will speak about it again. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I'll do it a little later because I don't want to totally spoil it. It's one scene, and it seemed innocent enough. And Doomcock and I talked about it on the Inquisition, but it wasn't. It actually crapped all over the original trilogy in a very subtle way. So thank you, author Stephen Walt. Please check out his book, The Fandom Menace. Somebody's trying to contact me. Hang on. Excuse me. The Fandom Menace, Volume 1, which is available on Indiegogo, and I'll get you a link in a little bit. Jesus Christ. Who is trying to call? Okay, it's not for me. That's good. I just got to keep an eye on things, kids and all. Sam Whiskey for $1.99. The Joker rocks. Solo lost money. Thank you, Sam Whiskey, and hashtag Solo lost money. And if you don't know what we're talking about, oh my God, I will go back to my Friday Night Tights live stream. There was somebody in the chat who came up with this. Was not me. It wasn't any members of the Fandom Menace. Well, it was somebody in the chat, a true member of the Fandom Menace. Forgive me. But it wasn't any people who were on the panel that night. But we decided, and I think this might be one of the very few collective decisions of the Fandom Menace, to go with the hashtag Solo lost money, and it's supposed to be kind of the Epstein didn't kill himself of the Fandom Menace. So if you were wondering why that was being brought up over and over again, that's why. It's kind of a wink and a nod to some of the conspiracy theories of Disney Star Wars, who claim that Star Wars, that Solo actually did make money, when we know that is not the case. So Sam Whiskey, thank you very much. Mark C, once again, what's up, man? For $5. Come on, Gary. It's not about the actor. It's about the story. More times than not, it's about the agenda. As far as the current films, yes, that's the biggest problem. And, well, it's supposed to be about the story. It hasn't been of late. For me, it's always about the story, but there was an era for a long time, and you know this, Mark, that I would go to a movie for an actor. If Eddie Murphy was in something, I would see it. I didn't care what the story was. Didn't give a damn. But nowadays, it is about the agenda above everything. Above absolutely everything. Geeky Candy for $2. Finally, The Expanse is nearly upon. Thank you, Mark C, for the $5. But yes, it is not about the actor whatsoever. Okay. I gotta hang on. I'm gonna mute this. Let's mute this right now. Excuse me. Okay, back to Geeky Candy for $2. Finally, The Expanse is nearly upon us. Yes, we are just days away from. I'm excited and I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed that they're dropping everything at once. I can't do a video per week. And unfortunately, instead of people talking about The Expanse into March, people will just be talking about The Expanse into mid-January, if that. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to make a negative Expanse video after that. I'm going to call them out about mid-January. I'll be paying attention. If I'm wrong, if people are still talking about it and it's still trending on Twitter, then I'll say, okay, I was wrong. Binge model worked. My bad. Yay. All right. Awesome. But I suspect The Expanse will be a memory by mid to late January, and I will point it out. I will point it out very loudly. I will go, wow, you know what? People would still be talking about The Expanse right now. It would still be trending on Twitter. Facebook groups would still be talking about it if you released it weekly. But the show that used to listen to its fans stopped listening to its fans. And that's a disappointment. I still love it. I've watched the first episode. It's great. It's not woke so far. And it's everything we want out of The Expanse, except they have more money now. It's more cinematic. That episode was one of the best Expanse episodes I've ever seen. Now, very few Expanse episodes have been shot outside. A lot of it's done outside. They have bigger sets. You can see they have that Amazon cheddar. I just think they're making a stupid decision by not releasing weekly. You can binge it anytime you want after they're done releasing it. But you've given up millions of clicks on YouTube alone from just a few YouTubers. Doomcock and I would have done at least 2 to 3 videos a week. And we're on the smaller side. There's people who are Alt-Shift-X would have done an Expanse video once a week. That's 1 million views. Easy. Alt-Shift-X is a great channel. They broke down Game of Thrones. Love them. They do great editing work and I think it's After Effects. Hell, what if Charlie at Emergency Awesome started covering it with his 3 million subs and he would get 500,000 or 1 million views per week? You're giving that up. It's stupid. Sir Ruin of Rouse Roundhead for $5. There is one way to save Fall of Skywalker. I can't even say Rise of Skywalker. It's either Rise of Palpatine or Fall of Skywalker. And that is to edit Tommy Wiseau into the whole movie. Looking forward to the new Ghostbusters, by the way. Awesome. I've got to watch that Tommy Wiseau Star Wars thing, man. Sir Ruin loves it. It's like his stairway to heaven. That's brilliant. Absolutely for $1.99. When are you going to rip episode 8 of Watchmen apart? I did. Would you like me to rip it apart again? I can. But here, hang on just a second. But I will. Give me a moment, but I need to get you the link to last night's Exozone because I think it was unlisted. Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's Gal Gadot is jumping around in a video that Star Wars for Life just put up and it really distracted me. Oh my God. Yeah, she's a really good Wonder Woman. Linda Carter's still better though. Sorry. I'm a married man. I got to look away from this stuff. Woo. Temperature go up in here? Where is it? Oh my God. Yeah, my website. I screwed up. I was supposed to time my posts for my website out a little more, and I kind of didn't. My bad. Here it is. Oh my God, did I screw that up or what? I didn't separate the @Doomcock and the link. God damn it. I'm so terrible at Twitter. All right, so this is the Inquisition. You can watch it after this. Last night. This is just for you. All right. But I will talk about Watchmen in a little bit. Okay, so absolutely, if you hang out for like 10 more minutes, I'll talk about The Watchmen. Spoilers, I hated it. Nina Fabiano for $5. Well, I disliked it. I disliked it. Hate's a strong word. Fuck. You know, words are very hard when you have a man called This Sucks. Happy to hear you sounding healthier. I'm not feeling it. Now that you're feeling better, what upcoming shows are you going to review? Or now that you're feeling better, what upcoming shows are on your list to review? Well, Witcher, Expanse, Star Trek Picard, Doctor Who. That's coming up. And that HBO show with Hugh Laurie. That looks like. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you in just a second. I didn't even know it existed, and it looks very Doctor Who in a way. I could be wrong. I just saw one trailer. I know nothing about it. I forgot what it was called. It's like Avenue or something like that. HBO. Avenue 5. Avenue 5 is a comedy series. Oh, wow. In space, basically. And it's about a luxury starship. Here it is. I had never heard of it, but I will be covering this because it just looked kind of funny. And we'll see if it's full of woke garbage. And if it is, I won't watch it, but we'll see. There. So that's one of the shows I'm going to cover. So it's going to be this Doctor Who, which premieres on the 1st of the year. Star Trek Picard, which is on the 23rd of January. The Witcher is on the 20th of December. So I'm going to review Fall of Skywalker on the 19th, and then I'll review The Witcher a couple days later. Doomcock and I will be reviewing The Expanse on his channel this coming Saturday. Geeky Candy and I are going to be talking about the books and a little bit about the series sometime over the next week, and she will be joining me on Friday Night Tights, and we'll be discussing it then. And I'm also going to cover Avenue 5, unless it's completely woke. So we'll see. We'll see. Thank you. Thank you, Nina. Levu for 10 Rons. The monetary, it says Ron. I don't know what that is. But I'll just say $10. Thank you, Levu. Hey, Gary, what's your favorite fantasy book? Lord of the Rings. Basic, simple answer, Lord of the Rings. My favorite Lord of the Rings book? Fellowship of the Ring. That one's hard. So my favorite Lord of the Rings movie is Two Towers. But my favorite Lord of the Rings book is Fellowship of the Ring. And my favorite part is actually the early parts when it's just Bilbo and they're in the Shire and Gandalf is giving all the background on Gollum. And Lord of the Rings. After that, A Song of Ice and Fire. George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire. God damn, I'm such a sucker. I just gave him money yesterday. There's an illustrated version of Clash of Kings that just came out that he signed. I bought it directly from him to support his Cock-Tooth Theater. The first one I didn't buy directly from him. I bought it on eBay. That's still bad, Gary. I should not be giving that guy any money because Winds of Winter's not out yet. But Lord of the Rings is something I can go back and read and listen to. I am currently reading a Blood of Elves, and I'm almost done. It's great. So on Nerdrotic Live, I'll do a review on it. I'll do a book review on that on Nerdrotic Live. I dig it. I thought it was really good. Mark C. for $5. Bill Murray had a call in line for $10,000 in cash. Bill would show up to a party and possibly bartend anywhere in the U.S. Had a call-in line. Yeah, I remember that, Mark. I do remember that. Oh, my God. If I had an extra $10K lying around, I would do it. People had to take him up on that. They had to. I'm sure there's some rich a-hole who would do that. Rosetta Allen, what's up? Welcome for $2. Sending Fandom love live on stream. Stay amazing, Gary. You stay amazing, Rosetta. I will do my very best to stay very average because that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm not feeling 100%, folks. But the show must go on. Rosetta, thank you again. You're wonderful. A great member of the Fandom Menace. Hail. TDM for $10. 80s Excalibur is a hidden gem. It truly is. One of the greatest soundtracks ever. One of the greatest fantasy films ever. Quite frankly, the only one to get it right before The Lord of the Rings, in my opinion. And I could watch it today. Is there Mark C would know. Is there a Criterion collection on that? I've never been happy with the Blu-ray transfer. It's okay, but, that needs like a solid, crazy good special edition. Maybe I missed it, though. Maybe I did. George Forrest Jr. for $4.99. Hail, Gary. I believe when Hollywood is done with comic books, they'll go after anime next. Also, Solo didn't make money. And it didn't. I believe you are correct. If anime ever fully catches on here in the United States, which I'm still questionable about. It seems to flare up, kind of like Star Trek Discovery when it returns, the STD. Sorry, it's a bad joke. It flares up in popularity from time to time, and I believe what hurts it is the art. Now, the art style is made to produce stories faster, and that's why it's done that way, and a lot of people like it. I just think it's hard for Americans to get into it. The storytelling is great in some of those things. And I'm talking about manga, not anime. I always conflate the two, and I shouldn't. Anime, the little I have seen is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I like it a lot. I know Castlevania is not technically anime, but isn't that coming back? Wait, didn't I just see that's coming back soon? That's another one I'll be covering. Hang on. Castlevania. When does that returns? Like in a week or two, right? Returns. I just saw it somewhere. Yeah, I just saw the article. They said it was going to come back in December. Oh, wait, it already did. Holy shit. Netflix's acclaimed animation Castlevania series is set to return for the third season. Vampire Slaying now has an official air date of, so I need to cover that. I missed it. I've been so freaking sick and busy and stupid busy that I missed Castlevania. God damn it. So look for a review of Castlevania in the next 2 days. I'll watch the whole thing tonight. I love Castlevania. I thought it was great. Let's see. Did Mark C get back to me? Is there an awesome Criterion collection? No Criterion edition of Excalibur. I'm hoping for a 4K remaster. Me too. Right there with you, man. Thank you for getting back. I appreciate that. Professor Thascalos for $5. Al Pacino has a new series on Amazon. Looks really good called Hunters. Check it out. May want to review the series. Professor Thascalos, I will check it out. I was going to see The Irishman, and then a good friend of mine said it was boring as hell. So I'm like, I still might check it out, but yeah. And I trust this person, by the way. But yes, I think anime is on Hollywood's chopping block. So don't give in, anime. And any creator right there, one of you out there, and you might even be watching this very video, is going to be the next Walt Disney or Stan Lee or George R.R. Martin. You're going to create something wonderful that everybody's going to love. Please, for the love of God, listen to me. Don't sell it. Do not sell it. You'll still make enough money. If it's that popular, you'll still make enough money to live comfortably the rest of your life. You don't need to be a billionaire. Control your property. Put wording in there that people can't go and crap on it like they're going to even try to do with Lord of the Rings. Now, Lord of the Rings and the Tolkien estate has done the best job at protecting their work of anybody. But just listen to me. If your story, when you pass, your story belongs to the people. And you want somebody to be I don't know, the custodian of that has the people in mind, has the fans in mind, that doesn't want to just exploit it for absolutely everything. Sure, I want you to make money. I hope you do. But just remember the fans. You know, and I can't get too bad at George. I think George did have the fans in mind when he did what he did, and I think George got screwed. So despite my criticisms of George, and honestly, I wouldn't want him in charge of the new trilogy either. I'll say that right now. He'd be better than Disney, but if you go back and look at some of his ideas, I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni for the future might be a good thing, but it's too late, like I've said before. We need another Blazing Saddles, says Viking Insane for $2 Canadian. It would never happen, but we do. And I've mentioned this previously on live streams. We don't need a Western. We need a Blazing Saddles for SJWs. We need a very brave group of comedians to self-finance a film. And I want it to be named comedians, starring Dave Chappelle. And I want them to make a movie that is the Blazing Saddles of 2019. And all it does is rip current year cancel culture. I mean, just call the damn movie Cancel Culture and just rip everybody on Twitter, everybody on YouTube. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. We need a movie like that. And guess what? If they rip somebody like people in the Fandom Menace, I'd laugh. We'll see if the other side laughs. We'll see. But it would be a beautiful thing. Because it would help. It would help, I don't know, suppress some of the divisiveness. When you mock things, when you make fun of things, it makes them less serious, obviously, and it makes them less dangerous to some people. And it also makes us look, you know, if you have a decent sense of humor, you look within, you get a little humble, and you go, okay, maybe I was going a little too crazy. Maybe they were going a little too crazy. Maybe we should find some common ground here. But right now, there is no common ground, unfortunately, because it's really hard to get to common ground from Nazi and misogynist. We need to hear that lightened up before we can even talk about common ground. Matthew Guy for £2. Transformers, the 1986 movie, best soundtrack ever. Damn good. Damn good. If it's, you know what? If it's the best soundtrack for you, then it is the best soundtrack ever. It's damn good. I remember that movie. BB Meyer for 25. Okay, Ron is a Romanian currency, but I'm going to call it Rons. Basically a quarter. And you're reading it right. Thank you. BB Meyer for 25 Rons. I just see a guy with a mustache from 1980. A guy named Ron. Like Ron Burgundy. Nettled Nerds for $2. If Lord of the Rings TV show is woke Hollywood gets burned down. Oh, yes. Nettled Nerds. I promise you this. My entire channel, I have never been a one subject channel. I cover everything here, everything that interests me. It will be turned into the burn Amazon down channel if they make Lord of the Rings woke. My entire life will be dedicated. I will not stop. Sir Pete, New York for $19.99. Hey, Gary. Thank you for the very generous super chat. Hey, Gary, do you think Hollywood will ever touch top video game titles such as Mass Effect or Halo for the big screen, or even a series? I think there is a Halo series that they're working on. So yes, I absolutely think they do. I heard there was a Halo series, unless they shit-canned it. Once there's one hit from a video game film, and a major hit, like a major hit from a major video game, yeah, keep an eye on Witcher. I guess technically that's one. I mean, it's based on a book series, but they could say, I think they said they were basing it more on the video game. Am I wrong about that? I heard they weren't basing it on the books, and people were upset about that, but maybe I have that wrong. Maybe it's the other way around. You could correct me in the chat. I'll keep an eye. I just saw Castlevania. Hang on. Castlevania season. Let's go. Was I wrong about that release date? Hang on just a second. I just read it in an article. I remember seeing. I'm going to go to. Oh my God. Never mind. Okay, let's go back to Paola. Paola, I'll check that out in a second. But put that back in the chat. I saw somebody mention Castlevania. Hit add Nerdrotic and I'll keep an eye for it. I missed it. Sorry. Thank you, Sir Petey, New York, for $19.99. Joe Lau is a new member at the proto-molecule level. Thank you very much. Belta Lauda. A few more days. Speaking of, again, of The Expanse, Geeky Candy, I will DM you some dates. Maybe we could talk about the books. Especially, I need to talk to somebody about those later books. Because I haven't been able to talk to somebody about that because I'm not entirely happy with that stuff. Bjorn for 20 Swedish krones. Burn in hell, Hollywood. Oh, and Solo lost money. Bless you. Bless you, sir. Paola RL for £5. Hi, Gary. I highly suggest you watch Fist of the North Star, talking about anime. I grew up watching it as everyone else in Italy, and it's amazing. I will, you know what, Paola, I will listen to you and I will check it out. I have heard great things about it. People used to rave about it in the comic shop I used to own. I might have mentioned it a couple of times. Paola, bless you for watching from Italy. I was in Sicily a few months back. Love your country. I can't wait to go back and visit it again. I miss it a lot. I spent 12 days there. It was so cool seeing ruins for the first time. Like, listen, when you're from America, something built in 1910 is considered old. My house was built in 1910, and that's considered ancient here. And then I was walking around ruins that were 5,000-6,000 years old and still standing. So, and thank you again for rocking the Nerdrotic shirt. That was awesome. So, Paola, bless you. And thank you for being a sub and thank you for being around. I appreciate you. Casey Osowski for $5. Even when they reboot it, they will always know Solo lost money. Be happy. They'll probably try. That was their first attempt at remaking the original trilogy. That was their test run. They're going to try it again. They're going to do it again. They're just waiting. Maybe that's what Bob Iger was trying to tell us at the end of that article. Maybe he said something about we want to go into the future and be free of Star Wars memories. In other words, free of Star Wars canon. That doesn't mean they're not going to remake the original trilogy. Au contraire, that means they're going to make it. They're going to really remake it and Disneyfy it. And I completely believe it will be. I don't know what's like Louise Skywalker and Prince Leia. That is what Disney will do with the original trilogy. They'll make it like a TV series on D+, and it'll be starring a female Luke Skywalker, and it'll be two women, and they'll be saving the Prince Leia. Trust me. Get it together now for $2. Dune 2020 coming in December. Looks awesome. It's coming next year. Is there a trailer? I hope so. I hope it's awesome. Hope Hollywood never touches Big Trouble and Dark City. Me too, and I don't think they will. I don't think they made enough money to get on their radar. Dark City is so good. I love Dark City. Directed by the same director from The Crow, which is another movie that, I mean, they've made too many sequels. I just hope they never remake the original. I love the original Crow. Dark City is a great film. I own it. Alex Proyas. I've never been able to pronounce his last name, but yeah, he directed Crow. He also did iRobot. Didn't do a very good job on that, but dude, Dark City. I think it was the last movie. Let me check. It's the last movie I remember seeing him in. Hang on. Richard O'Brien is in Dark City. Okay. So the what's he been in? The Crystal Maze. Oh, he's been in a lot of little stuff. So Riff Raff from Rocky Horror Picture Show is in Dark City. There's Avenue 5. And let's go back to the chat. Oh, we got to read the Bounding into Comics article. I'll do that in just a second, but let's go back to the chat. Mark C. If you like Fist of the North Star, please watch the live action film. It's so amazingly terrible, it must be seen to enjoyed. Like watching a train wreck. I would probably enjoy the hell out of that. I will do, Mark C. For $10, consider it done. Thank you, my friend. The Midnight Gardener for $10. And did you say anything there? I don't see anything said. Was it just a donation, or is my window cutting out on me? Which it has done before. Nope. All right. Well, if you did, it'll pop up in a second. And let's go to Bounding into Comics. My good friend John F. Trent wrote an article this morning pointing out some of the spurgers about the Ghostbuster trailer. Spurging along. And I know. I shouldn't be saying spurg, but yet I do. There we go. NME journalist James McMahon, F that Ghostbusters trailer. You don't reward regressive fanboys. Meh. NME journalist James McMahon, who tipped his hat and said "Milady," took to Twitter to decry the first Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer. McMahon wrote on Twitter, by the way, a trailer filled with little girls and women. Fuck that Ghostbuster trailer. You don't reward regressive fanboys, many of whom created an atmosphere of racist, misogynist toxicity that led to a leading lady leaving this very platform by making the very film they wanted in the first place. Milady. Oh, wait, there's more. Some guy named James. He's got a blue check mark. He's got 30-something plus followers on Twitter. I don't get Twitter. I don't know why people spend so much time there. I get bored of it within an hour. I don't know why somebody would spend so much time on there. Well, I guess it's attention. It's dopamine hits. I mean, what is it? Yeah. I mean, it's good once in a while. I don't know. I like being able to flesh out the argument, have conversations with people, interact with people, and not be limited by characters. And this way you could just drop some hot take and bounce. And yeah, I don't know. F that Ghostbusters trailer. You don't reward regressive fanboy. Oh, it's the same guy. Okay, so is that a picture of him? Where's he a urinalist at? Yeah. McMahon would not be alone, in his opinion. Matthew Rodriguez, the editor of The Body, stated, LMAO, of course, Ghostbusters Afterlife is about a family and lineage and legacy and all of the other effing white patriarchal American values. It's literally a reaction to the idea of 4 women, including a 1 black one. The franchise must assert its real predecessor. Oh my God. I want to see this person. I really need to see this person. Oh. Afro Bi-Curious. I love myself when I'm laughing. Editor at thebody.com from Out Magazine into Mike Rep Stone. Here, I'm going to show. Let's see that. There you go. At Stone Sun NYC. He, they, why would you not want to know? I seriously don't ever want to know. Ever. 20,000 followers. 20,000 followers. Let's take a look. Oh, okay. Yep. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Yep. All right. I just noticed that most of the people who call us out, call this stuff out, happen to be political, like hyper political. Actually calling out family as something bad. You see what we're fighting against here? They want there is so many, you know what? This message, if the leaks are true, this message is in The Fall of Skywalker, by the way. This message of family is patriarchal. Family. It's exclusively white and patriarchal. You know, and this stuff gets a voice. How many likes did he get? Sorry, I'm going to have to click to this. Oh, it doesn't tell me. That's good. Let's try that again. Oh, and then this. Okay, so Adam. Oh, good old Adam Lance Garcia, who we've. I don't know. He and I don't agree on Doctor Who quite a bit. Consider me interested. Everything happens for a reason. Watch the new trailer, Ghostbusters, blah, blah, blah. This, of course, is not to discount Ghostbusters 2016, a film that was unfairly attacked by the worst kind of humans, most of whom were men, because men are inherently emotional and irrational and get angry when women do anything. To which I say, go fuck yourselves, dude. All right, hang on. Let's go visit him. Let's go visit Adam. Adam thinks he's a writer. He's a writer. He's got 4,000 followers. He's on realradio.com. He's author of The Green Llama. Fan of Rian Johnson. He doesn't like the Orange Man. Again, political. I just like to point out, if you go on my Twitter, you will not see a political post. Not a single one. I'm not trying to change minds. Doomcock and I were accused of that yesterday, of trying to push our narrative. If my narrative is I'd like things to go towards the middle, we'd be a little more neutral, be a little more open-minded, and stop calling everybody a racist and a misogynist because they don't like a movie, then I guess that's an agenda. But I don't have to lie about mine. I'm not being secretive about mine. That's why they try to accuse us that we're some form of secret net, secret underground group of alt-right trolls hand signaling each other and giving each other talking points for videos. And I'm getting my talking points from Vladimir Putin. Yeah. By the way, I want to talk about this one. This is what's not to love about Jodie Whittaker, Tom Baker. # Baker approved. I wouldn't say that. I would say that's the best answer you can give if you still want to remain on the Doctor Who con circuit, still get your residuals. Hey, here's the woman who suppressed the information about that guy who owned the island. But it looks like she still has a job so she can interview Kelly Marie Tran. I mean, forget that this woman knows the dirt on major political figures and knows everything that went on because she's got an interview that got suppressed by Disney-owned ABC. She's interviewing Kelly Marie Tran. Oh, isn't that great? Oh, it's so great. Well, think about all of those little girls who were victimized by that guy, and you just keep smiling and laughing. And look at all that diversity in the background, by the way. Look at that. Blonde, 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 blonde. And then, wait, blonde, 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 blonde. Oh, hey, there you go. That's good. Yeah. So she bent the knee. So whatever respect I had for, I don't know, teleprompter reading lady from ABC, is it that important for you? When you go to bed at night and you think about all those little girls, one who you fucking interviewed, were victimized by this guy, and you decided to shut your mouth and bend the knee for a job, and you probably already have enough money to live off of the rest of your life. And, maybe you're fearing for your life. I understand that I can kind of understand, but listen, you're out there now. I don't know. But this guy retweets her. He retweets her too. Let's not forget that. Epstein didn't kill himself and Solo lost money. Okay, that might have triggered me a little bit. Sorry. I apologize. Not really. Not really. So what else was said? We have Julie Alexander. The new Ghostbusters trailer looks awful, and I'm sorry that we keep making Finn Wolfhard play Finn Wolfhard in a different city. That's from Stranger Things. Only way I can imagine enjoying this is if I imagine Paul Rudd is Scott Lang and Ant-Man is just like, fuck it, time travel's real. Why not ghosts? Julie Alexander, I'm sensing a little bitterness. Now, if she genuinely doesn't like it because of that, I can get it. But I don't know. I don't know. Then we have, however, there were plenty of others who had a very different take on the film. Twitter user Quentin Reviews described the new trailer as a film seems like a love letter made by a group of fans. That's kind of how I see it. The reason Ghostbusters 20 looks better than the Ghostbusters 2016 isn't about politics or gender. Yeah, it is. It's about politics. Never was about gender. If you would have done 2 guys and 2 girls, it would have been fine. But you decided to do 4 girls and attack the fans. The director tried to attack the fans. I think that was the main part, personally. It's about the fact that the new film seems like a love letter made to a group of fans. That's a very safe answer. No, it's about politics. Blake Northcott, great. Wonder Woman, Ghostbusters, and Black Widow trailers. Black Widow trailer was good. Wonder Woman trailer was really good. And so was the Ghostbusters trailer. I haven't seen a great trailer. No, The Expanse had a great trailer. That was a great trailer. The common thread, studios are leaning from disastrous and pricey 2017-2018 experiments. Don't screw with the franchises. Don't mess with the tone. Please, customers, not critics. They're catching on. Well said, Blake Northcott. Well said. I need to like that. I gotta like it from here though. Hang on. There. I'm going to. Oh, that's cool. I like that. All right. Cool. Let's get back to you. Hey, there's Doug Ernst, our boy Doug Ernst. It's a Ghostbusters trailer that makes me want to see a Ghostbusters movie. Weird. I was told that I irrationally have a thing against Ghostbusters. I was told I irrationally had a thing against Ghostbusters a few years ago. Yes, Doug. It turns out you weren't a sexist or a misogynist. You just criticized the film based on the director talking shit, based on the political bent from the studio, and based on remaking something poorly. I mean, it's a bad movie, just the 15 minutes I watched. And yes, that is the Washington Times reporter, Doug Ernst. And he's brilliant. So, hail, Doug. Good job, buddy. Good job. All right, let's get back to you guys. And then we have to talk about Jeff one more time. Poor Jeff. Poor Jeff's going through a hard time right now. He's getting caught up in some internet stuff, and we will speak about it. And they tried to swing it my way. It's like, dude, guys, and this isn't you in the chat. This is for anybody involved in the Jeff stuff. I'm not going to see anything you say. I'm not going to hear anything you say. I don't play on Twitter. Best way to play that game is not to play. So you can say whatever you want. You will not get a response. I don't mute. I don't block, but I ghost. Sam Goodpaster for $2. Thank you for the donation. The Midnight Gardener, again, thank you for the $2 donation. The Midnight Gardener, one more time for $2. I screwed up and sent a message after the super chat. What did you send? Go ahead, the Midnight Gardener, go ahead and hit @Nerdrotic in the chat and give me the message you sent. You don't have to send another super chat. I will watch for it, okay? Matt Adams for $5. That journalist looks like a pathetic white knight. You do reward the fanboys. We're the ones buying the tickets. What a tool. What a total tool. And what a complete idiot for saying that. And by the way, did you notice he separated himself from the fanboys? He is above those lowly fanboys and girls. Yeah, you know what? Fuck you, dude. If you think, listen, I'll be frank on this one. There's a lot of people who are calling themselves journalists who aren't, but they've gotten this little whiff of power. His 30,000 Twitter followers have given this guy a whiff of power he's never had in his entire life. And a lot of this is individual insecurity. And this is the first time he's ever belonged in a group, probably. And he will do anything to protect his status. Anything these people do. Just check them. Don't check their privilege. Check their motivation. Their motivation is to stay relevant. This guy actually doesn't feel like that. This guy would never say any of this shit to anybody's face. It's keyboard warriors. I would love to run into this guy and we can have a little debate face to face. Have it over a cup of coffee. We'll see how brave and stunning he is. I would love to. Anytime. I'm going to a lot of cons this year. I'm available. I am available. Let's see if he got back to me. There's two, and I am looking at the Midnight Gardener. Did you pop in yet? We might be on delay though, so I'll keep an eye on it. Lancelot 652 for $5. Just watched the trailer. I sensed a bit of Hollywood bias of the dad being gone, but it does look really good, and that's why it wasn't a perfect trailer for me. Lancelot 652, thank you for noticing it. I hope more of you do. I want you to point out every time there is a missing dad, father abandoned his children and his wife. It looks like they're broke and it's probably going to be the dad's fault, or the dad beats the kid, or the dad drinks, or the dad is ineffectual, or the dad cheated on the wife. The mother is always the saintly figure, and no divorces are ever caused by women. Ever. That shit has got to stop. It's getting tired. It's getting old, and I'm going to call it out even in stuff I like. But it's done way too much. That's why Ford versus Ferrari showing a good father was so goddamn rare. It made it one of the best movies I've seen this year. Just because Hollywood gave us one good father. And of course, the movie was criticized for being too white and patriarchal and colonialist. And I encourage you idiots to keep criticizing movies like that. Please, every time you see white colonialism and the colonialist patriarchy, I want you to name that, because then I can identify you as a complete absurd idiot who is a communist. So there you go. By the way, those wonderful communists that took over German farms that were asked to come to Russia under the czars, who weren't great people either, and teach the Russians how to farm. And then when the Bolshevik Revolution happened, the Communist Revolution, they repossessed all the farms and killed all the people who owned them. Great people. Brian Snell for $10. My girlfriend hates Ghostbusters 2016 just from the explanation of how the proton works and how dangerous they are. The video is called Scene Comparison by Critical Thinker. Yeah, it's a great video. Yes, I've seen that. The Critical Drinker. Critical Drinker is a brilliant YouTuber. I'm going to try to get him on if he wants to. The invitation is out there, but I gotta reach out to him via DMs. But he is a great YouTuber. So let's see. The Midnight Gardener. Yeah, what do you think about Philip K. Dick and the 2 Blade Runner movies? What's your favorite sci-fi fantasy book? Journalists nowadays just regurgitate information. They're not journalists. They're copy and pasters. They just, yeah. And they wonder why their medium is dying. They got lazy. For a while, they were getting a lot of clicks. They were able to get away with taking a source article, taking the meat out of that source article, adding a sentence here and there, and calling it their own, and then going out on Twitter and calling themselves a journalist. As much as I don't like Matt Miller, at least he wrote his own shit. He wrote an article that was his. What's going on everywhere else is, well, I mean, thanks. That's why YouTube is growing. People are tired of, you know what? If you go look right now, if you look at the Ghostbuster trailer and you Google that, you will get a bunch of Access Media articles that show the trailer, say blah, blah, blah. Here's, say something about Ghostbusters 2016, give you a sentence on what they think, and then they throw up the trailer and call that an article and have their hand out and then complain about being underpaid. Shut the fuck up. Do more work, write something from scratch, have original takes, for Christ's sake, and maybe people will listen. I doubt it, but they'll listen. Maybe. Possibly. Never. No. They're news readers. That's all they are. That's all they are. God damn it. Well said about calling out the anti-male narrative that keeps getting pushed. Watch What is a Man by Edgar Watches on YouTube to show Raul all positive male figures. It is brilliant. Thank you very much. I will check it out. Are the Devil's Foot soldiers? Yes, they are. Thank you, Rhaegar. I appreciate it. Yes, fuck them. Fuck them. Kroll. I love Kroll. I love Kroll, Chris. So my favorite, I'll answer it again. I answered it earlier on, and it just, there we go. The first Blade Runner movie is damn near perfection. It's where my opinion on films grew up. My taste expanded through that film. I fully expected to get an Harrison Ford adventure, and I didn't get that, and I still loved it. I couldn't stop thinking about it after I saw it. I watched it in the theaters with my friend Doug. My mom took me. I was 12. It was an empty theater. The film wasn't a hit. It was a version that a lot of you didn't see for a long time, and it was the version where there's the voiceover, which I actually like. I'm not a big fan of Ridley Scott's revisions on it. I do like the director's cut. I love the film. I think that is the greatest soundtrack ever made, is Vangelis's Blade Runner. I don't like the second film. I thought there was a lot of long, meandering walking towards doors. It's visually stunning, but it's missing what the original Blade Runner had. Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford made that movie. Harrison Ford was barely in Blade Runner 2049, and I'm sorry, it didn't really do it for me. I was more interested in the possible replicant revolution that they were talking about. Which was supposed to be a backdrop, I know, but I was just more interested in that story than the one we saw. It gave Deckard a happy ending. Okay, but I didn't like it. As far as my favorite fantasy book is Lord of the Rings. My favorite science fiction book. Well, I'm going to give you an easy answer on that one. It's The Expanse right now. I love The Expanse. The first 5 books are brilliant. My favorite book, Leviathan Wakes is probably my favorite recent sci-fi book. Overall, though, it is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is my favorite book of all time. It's my favorite sci-fi book. It's my favorite comedy book. It's my favorite book. I love the first 3. I adore them. Great radio shows, too. What do we got? We're at an hour and a half. Okay, I've got to run, folks. I've got to run. We did 90 minutes. I will be back on Wednesday. And here's the deal. This is where this is going to be from now on. So Monday, Wednesday, between 11 and 12. I'm never going to give an exact time. Let's just forget that. But between 11 and 12, Monday and Wednesday, the Nerdrotic Nooner is back. It's going to be at this time, and we're going to have fun. And we will not always talk about freaking Star Wars. That's part of what the live stream will be. It'll be about stuff I like. It's going to be just open forum. And I'm very happy to report that I was happy with the Ghostbusters trailer. I did not hate it. I thought it was good. It wasn't the greatest thing, but I think if you compare it to 2016, it's brilliant. It's pissing off the right people. And they're the ones who want to continue dividing. When you have some asshole come out and complain about families on screen, that's a disdain that I can't even get my head around. You have so much hate in your life, and whatever happened to you, you got diddled by an uncle. I don't fucking know. You need to go to therapy. The problem is we have a lot of people who just need to go to therapy. There's a lot of insecurity going on right now. There's a lot of arrested development. And when you come out against families, little kids, cute little kids and their moms and dads, or in this case, just their moms, I don't know. You lose your humanity. You start losing your humanity, and you start becoming what you hate. And that's what's happening. There's so much divisiveness now, and it's permeated through all of our entertainment. It's poisoned it. It's poisoned it with divisiveness and hatred. And now anybody who is center, who just says, hey, I don't hate the orange man, or I have no opinion on him, you're an enemy now too. You're an enemy. You have to be an ally. And if you're not an ally, you're an enemy. What kind of shit are we going towards? That's what we're trying to stop in entertainment. I really don't want to talk about, well, I didn't talk about Watchmen. I'll do it for a second. I didn't want to talk about what we talked about last night in Watchmen. I understand Watchmen is more adult. I understand it's politically motivated and it's got political allegories. But Watchmen has been used and exploited by Damon Lindelof to further his career, to keep him relevant. And he's using people of color and a horrible incident from our history to do it. And he's trying to hide behind the veil of, I'm just bringing awareness to people. Well, there's other ways to bring awareness, and not in a cartoonish way through a superhero show that's not even a superhero show. Plus, in what he did, he fundamentally changed that moment in history, and I think really disrespected it, disrespected the people who went through it, that actual horrific time. Damon Lindelof is not a genuinely good human being. This is a person who will use a horrific historic incident to hide behind a wall of woke so he can't get criticized. And that is what's the case. I listen, I can't read the guy's mind, but I know Hollywood. Hollywood is all about opportunism, manipulation. It's fake. And the thing is, you're not supposed to know. You're not. You know you're watching a puppet show, but you're not supposed to know where the puppeteer is. In this case, it's pretty obvious. Andrew Zabova, thank you for becoming a member at the proto-molecule level. Adam Chow, I appreciate it. Adam Chow for $1.99. Gary sent you an email about the meetup and your store. Thank you very much. I will check it right after this. Thank you all for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. If you want to see the full thoughts from Doomcock and myself on last night's Inquisition, I will put the link in the community tab on my channel. He will also be posting it on the Harvey channel pretty soon, so you might want to keep an eye over there. But in the meantime, I'll put the link up. Doomcock and I talked about last night's episode for about 2 hours. We had a lot to say on it, and we've gotten a lot of criticism, and that's part of what we do here. And, you roll with it. Entertainment lacks sensible thinking. It does. It does. Thank you to all the Modrotics. Thank you to all the new members. We got 2 new members. Thank you for everybody who is watching. I will see you in the next video. And remember, not all who wander are lost.